YouTube, this is Jason. Welcome to my amateur DIY channel. Before we start this, I want to introduce my channel. This is my first time being YouTube, and the most of video in my channel will be fixing it, building it, many things. So let's get started. Today I'm going to show you how to change engine head gasket and timing belt on 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. This engine is a V8 4.7, which is very strong for me, and to be honest with you guys, this is my first time doing it, so I might mess up with this engine. I hopefully not. Watch the many video how the experts are doing it, so I believe it'll be okay. We'll see. So this is my 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This vehicle has 145,000 miles on it. And there's something that I want to share with you guys is this unique bumper. I never seen this bumper before. It says it's Jeep, but I never seen other vehicle has this unique bumper. So please comment below if you guys know how to get this bumper on aftermarket or any place. Alright, let me pop up the hood and let me see the engine. So first thing, I have to remove the battery. I'm gonna disconnect the negative side of a battery and a positive side. And I'm also going to remove the battery kill switch. And just tuck it on the side. And now I'm going to remove the battery holder. It's a 10mm. And you just wiggle that out. And now I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver to remove the air intake filter and remove the vacuum hose that attached to from filters, like so. And now I'm going to disconnect the wire that attached it from throttle body. There's a two wire and that held up by some kind of a clip mechanism, and you can use a long nozzle to remove it. Now I'm going to disconnect the electric wires and all the hoses. Now I'm going to release the drive belt tensioner so I can take the belt out, like so. And now I'm going to remove the AC compressor out of the way. I'm not going to disconnect all the hoses, otherwise I have to recharge it, and that's not what I wanted. So I'm just going to remove the bolt. AC compressor is held up by 3 bolts. Down 2 will be 15mm, and the last 1 bolt is placed on the top. It's a 13mm. And I'm going to just release the bolt and swing out of the way. Now I'm going to remove the alternator out of the way. It's held up by 3 bolts, just like the AC compressor. Down 2 will be 15mm, and the last one on the top will be 13mm. Oh, just reminding you that before we start this job, we have to drain all the engine oil and coolant out. Make sure there's no engine oil and the coolants are remain in the engine. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot of mess. Now I'm going to remove this oil filter tube. This one is held up by 4 bolts. It's a 5 and 16. And removing this PCV line, you can simply just wiggle it out like so. Now I'm going to remove the heater hoses. There's 2 of them bottom there, and they're held up by clips. You can use a long nose to pry that out and remove the hoses. Now I'm going to remove this battery holder. They're held up by 3 bolts. They are 10 millimeter. Now I'm also going to remove the positive wire that attached from the fuse box, so I can have more access to take the battery holder out. And this is me trying to disconnect the battery temperature sensor. It's placed in the bottom of the battery holder, and you can simply disconnect with the plier. Now I'm trying to remove the gas pedal wire out of a throttle body, so I can take the throttle body completely out. So now I'm trying to disconnect all the electric wires, such as fuel injector and ignition coil. You have to disconnect everything. After that, I'm trying to disconnect the fuel line. You need some special tool to disconnect the fuel line. And now I'm trying to remove all the ignition coil. They are held up by 10mm bolt and stud. You can simply unscrew it and pull it out. I am removing the fuel line with the injector. They are held up by 4 bolts. They are 5 and 16. And now I'm trying to remove this air intake part. First thing, you need to remove the coolant temperature sensor in the middle. And I'm removing this valve cover. They are held up by 10mm bolts. And the left side of the valve cover wasn't easy than the right side, since all the wires are very tight. So I had to remove all the wires out and remove the coolant tanks and disconnect the ECU wire. finally I was able to take this valve cover out. Now I'm trying to line up the crank pulley position and using a tiny mirror to set a line. Now I'm trying to rotate the crank pulley to set a line. I'm using a 3 and 16 socket to rotate the crank pulley. You will see the left and right side of the crank gear, and there's a V8 mark on the gear. It has to be a 12 o'clock. This time I'm cleaning the valve cover and removing the gaskets and all the bolts, and make sure all the bolts has to go back to the original place. After the cover is dried, I'm putting back all the gaskets. And I'm doing exact same thing that I previously did, and this time I'm also changing the oil filter tube and air intake gasket too. Here I'm cleaning the fuel injectors and also replacing the O-rings. And back to our engine bay, I'm removing the crank pulley and power steering, also the drive belt tensioner. And I'm disconnecting all the coolant hose, upper and under, and removing front case bolt. And this time I'm not replacing water pump, so just unscrew the top 4 bolts, and now you can see the timing gears and chains. And while you're opening the front case, make sure you put the catch pan on the bottom, because the coolant will start dripping. And here I'm removing all the gear bolts and trying to remove all the timing chain tensioners. Now I'm cleaning the front case, replacing all the O-rings and gaskets. And here is my timing gear and chain set. And all the chains and gear has to be on a certain position, so I'm using a cable tie to hold them. After that, I'm reassembling the timing chain tensioner. And after the timing tensioners are set up, I'm going to put the timing gears and chains back on. After the timing gear and tensioner on the right place, you can put the bolts back on, and you can pull the timing tensional pin out. And I'm placing the front case gasket like so. After that, close the front case and put the pulley back on. So basically what you're doing is putting everything back together. Power steering wheel, and this time I damaged the breather valve, so I'm also replacing to new one. Put the older wires and hoses back together, and valve cover and air intake parts. I also cleaned the air intake parts and throttle body. Now I'm reassembling the fuse box and battery holder. reassemble the battery and a battery kill switch and air intake filter. And I have noticed that I have a oil leak from oil pressure sensor, so I'm replacing two new one. And now I'm putting a drive belt back on. Refilling the engine oil and a coolant. And the movement of the through. So these are the parts that I was able to change. And these are the parts that I wasn't able to change it. So the job has been done, and I'm pretty satisfied with the job that I have done. Even though I wasn't able to change this gasket, but I'm still satisfied. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like this video, please press the like button. Thank you for watching. Thank you.